All right. Hello there. Welcome to a new episode of Two Chicks Tell All. It's your girl Tay Tay here.
And Cece?
So I just wanted to give two disclaimers, actually,
Yeah.
just because I don't know if we're going to get into discussing people or anything like that.
Yeah, not necessarily. Oh, well, we do have one story.
Yeah, but I just wanted to let y'all know that, the people and places that we talk about in this episode, their names have been changed just to kind of protect the privacy of them. So you know how that goes. That's pretty much how it's been every episode, which we've done pretty good with kind of not using names, but I still just kind of like to give that little disclaimer. And also, do not take any medical advice from us.
Exactly. We're not professionals here.
We are here just to kind of give you, I guess, some information.
Right, yes.
And we did our research and we just kind of want to portray some information. So that's all that we want to do. If you're curious about starting any of the diets that we discuss in this episode, or if you're curious about starting an exercise regimen and you have some medical problems and you're unsure about, what you should do, I would definitely contact your physician before starting anything.
Yes.
Always
get an okay on that end.
Yes, because we want you to be okay. We don't want nothing to happen to y'all.
Right, yeah. So we're going to cover tonight some different diet programs that are out there. We've got the Weight Watchers.
We have
system
and Whole30, which is actually kind of like a newer diet, and Atkins.
We're going to touch on that. So,
and then we're just going to go over some exercise statistics also, just with that.
And again, we are not professionals, so and are not given any medical advice or anything. Just relaying some facts. So basically, what is a diet? Well, a diet, simply put, is food and beverages that you consume on a daily basis. And it's a diet plan is typically designed with a purpose, whether if it's to lose weight. Some people actually go on diets to gain weight, believe it or not. But there are, unfortunately, those sometimes are the people we hate because we're like, dang it, I got to go on a diet to lose weight.
Right?
I used to actually, my best friend that lived across the street, she was always very tiny and she could eat anything. And it was like, and it catches up with us at some point with age, and it definitely has caught up with her and me as well. So.
Yeah, and it doesn't get any easier, unfortunately, as older as you get to lose weight. So it's good to kind of be consistent about it. And at least try, throughout the years to maintain a healthy lifestyle.
Right, yeah. And that was something I came across in some of the research, was just like they were saying, it's not something, it's like you almost have to look at some of these as more of a lifestyle change, than just a diet. I mean, a diet's a good thing to do, obviously, like we're saying, if you need to do things like this, if you need to control blood sugar issues or some other kind of issues that you have, then that's why we kind of seek the diets. But the diets, of course, have to be followed for you to be able to lose the weight and do the things you need to do to kind of adhere to the diet, which has always been my downfall. I always have the intent of saying, all right, I'm going to start this diet, and it just, I had a hard time.
Listen, sis, I've been there, done that, so I
think
understand.
It's easier when you do it with somebody else, because I remember when I worked at this company, and there was only 3 of us that weren't there at this office, and we did this diet because we were there all day during the week, So we did, it was like a soup diet where you had to eat all this soup or something,
How'd that work out?
I mean, we all did pretty good, lost a little bit of weight on it,
Yeah.
So it did work, But some of those were like quick fix diets, I like to say. Some of the more ones we're covering are more like long term. But I would assume with some of these diets, mostly you're looking at it's going to be a long term commitment with some of these. So, but that's basically, simply put, what a diet is. And of course, there's different kinds of diets and things like that we'll touch on. You have, like plant-based diets, low-carb eating. People sometimes cut just strictly red meat out or animal products altogether. But basically, if you adhere to, a balanced diet, which consists of your fruits and vegetables, whole grains, healthy fats, and proteins, it's basically what you should do on a daily basis. So, but to get into some of the diets, so Tay, what is it that you were going to hit on first?
Okay, so the diet that I'm going to hit on first is called Whole30, which it's also called a paleo diet in case, people have heard of that one. That one might be a little bit more familiar. But basically, with the Whole30 diet, for 30 days, you will eat meat, seafood, eggs, veggies, fruit, and natural fats. And you're going to avoid processed foods and any sort of added sugars. So you're cutting out like a lot of things, in this diet.
Right. A lot.
So some other things that you're to avoid within the 30-day mark is added real or artificial sugars, alcohol, legumes, which would be like beans,
right,
grains, dairy. Avoid recreating baked goods with approved ingredients, and avoid stepping on the scale or taking measurements. I am actually currently partaking in Whole30, and I'm actually trying it for 90 days to see how much weight I can lose. So I will admit I'm not following it like I'm following it strictly, but not like super strictly. Like I am eating some dairy, and I am, eating some of those like artificial sugars. But here's my thing is that I think anytime you start a diet, it's better to just like gradually like work into it as opposed to just taking it all on at once. Because I feel like if I try to take on anything all at once, it's going to cause me to fail like super quickly.
I know, right? That's the thing. I feel like you got in some of these diets, it's, I think, and one thing I hear that's common that even professional people and workout people and everything that I've heard, they always say you got to, kind of give yourself a cheat day, or you got to, you kind of got to at least have yourself some leniency in some of these, or otherwise you're less likely to really stick to it, So yeah, I totally agree with that.
Which this diet actually hasn't been that difficult for me because they have like an approved food list, and there's a lot of things on there that you can eat. Like you can eat chicken, you can eat seafood, you can eat beef, you can eat any type of vegetable pretty much except beans, you can eat any type of fruit. There's a lot of stuff on there that is approved, which I think is good because it'll give me more ideas on like what to make and what I can eat. So I have more of a variety. So and I have been stepping on the scale. I weigh myself once a week because I figure that is probably good. Because I don't like to just like weigh myself every day. I know some people do that, but that would stress me out if I weighed myself every day.
Yeah, I'm a once a weeker.
So I usually, check in once a week to see what my weight looks like. I've already lost 3 pounds in 2 weeks, which I think isn't insanely bad for somebody like me who has a hard time losing weight. Right. I will take any sort of weight loss as a win, honestly. And I also have been incorporating working out every day into my diet. So I work out for about 30 minutes a day, but I'm trying to increase that as time goes on. So there's some pros and cons to this specific diet. So the pros is there's coaching and group support available. It's filling because it's rich in high fiber foods. You don't count carbs, points, or calories, and it's a clearly defined plan with recipes. They actually have a whole book dedicated to Whole30 and different ideas for recipes, which is very helpful. I feel like that's very helpful.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because you're not going to run out of ideas about what to make. Because I know that if I eat the same things day in and day out, I do get bored with it.
Yeah.
So it's a good idea to kind of have some ideas and stuff like that. So there's some cons to this diet.
Right.
So lots of rules to remember. I mean, I just read to you all that it includes. You have to remember all that, so it's a lot. There's little research to actually back it up, which the reason that there's such little research is because this diet has only come out within the past couple years.
Yeah.
So they're still trying to work out a lot of the kinks and stuff like that. So the age-old question, can I lose weight on Whole30? While no independent research has been conducted on the Whole30 program specifically, diets like this one that eliminate entire food groups are bound to make you drop weight. So there is a good chance that you're going to lose weight.
Yeah.
While being on this one. So short-term weight loss. So even though Whole30 is not a weight loss plan, 96% of more than 1,600 Whole30 participants did drop pounds. And that's according to a 2010 survey. So actually this diet is older than what I thought. So that's actually a pretty good number, I feel like.
Yeah,
so you're thinking 96% of 1,600 people have lost weight while doing this diet.
Yeah.
So I think that it's good. So another little thing is experts worry that restrictive diets with no room for error can set followers up for failure and prompt them to put the pounds back on and then some.
Right.
Once the diet is over, which I feel like...
That's kind of, I think, for every diet.
I feel like that's, for a lot of these, like, structured diets, that seems to be, like, a thing.
Right.
Where it's like, you'll lose weight, no doubt about it, but the minute that you dive into just eating whatever, you're going to gain weight back quickly. Yeah. So just be, cautious and mindful of that. So, that's about all the information that I have on Whole30. So, would you like to
and actually, just to kind of back up on some of the other stuff you were saying, is how to stick to a diet, too. That's the thing, and it's one important thing or reason is you really need to determine, like, why. Why are you doing it? Why do you want to do it? What's in it for you? And again, some people want to, lose weight. Some people want to just, get into a healthier lifestyle and change, their ways. Sorry, I'm having a hard time with my...
She's hanging out with her lizard in the meantime, too.
But, it's how do you stick to it? You got to make that commitment to a lot. Basically, like I said again, make more like a lifelong commitment to it. Or once you get on that healthier path, then I think that's another thing too. Is like once you kind of get there, I would hope, less likely to go back.
Yeah.
All right, so I did some research on Nutrisystem, and it was kind of interesting because I really didn't realize this about Nutrisystem. But it's based on using like the nutrients that are required by your body. So it excludes dietary elements such as harmful chemicals used to increase the flavor, which is one thing I've always said about some of these diets or these packaged diets is they have to add so many preservatives to some of the foods in there. And, how can it really taste that good? But their program ensures that customers get the necessary nutrients and fruits and vegetables, dairy, and lean meats. And it's used like a conventional weight loss diet, but their dishes are created actually by a professional chef. So, which I did not realize that.
Yeah.
So,
my stepdad actually did Nutrisystem for a little bit of time, and he actually lost a good amount of weight, but unfortunately, whenever he went back to eating, not Nutrisystem foods, he gained all of the weight back.
Right, and that's the thing. Yeah, I would imagine too with programs like this is if you ever get back to the way you ate before, it's totally going to change because this is a cleaner way of eating. Their foods don't have all the bad stuff in it, and they are giving your body the nutrients that you need. But it's a program where you basically go in and kind of choose your meals for the week, purchase your meals and everything, and then they come shipped to you. But they have different levels in this program too. They have different programs. They have like a basic Nutrisystem program, which is the most basic food plan. It's 3 meals and snacks each day, and it does not allow for personalization by the user. Its program is designed for those who wish to lose weight while building lean muscle. And then they have the core Nutrisystem, which it's a little more complex plan. It allows consumers to personalize their diet plan from over 100 different items. And you get access to a trained nutritional coach and who also helps you maybe reach your weight loss goals. Then there's Individually Yours, and it is a bigger range of meals. It's 160 food selections that you get to choose from, and that is actually their most popular meal plan. And it also includes frozen meals as well, which I guess the other stuff is, I guess they send
it's like a lot of box meals and
right,
a lot of like shakes and stuff like that.
Yeah. They have an Ultimate Uniquely Yours program that is pretty much identical to the original Uniquely Yours, but it adds 28 shakes to your plan. They have a diabetic plan, and it's tailored to people who have blood sugar levels. Obviously, that would help with them. There's a vegetarian weight loss diet, and it's designed for vegetarians. So they have more than just like one type of plan with their system. And what are the ingredients in most of their meals? Proteins, obviously. They have the nuts and seeds, tofu, fruits, berries, avocados, your veggies, green veggies, onions, mushrooms, asparagus, plant-based fats, dairy, and some foods are permitted: skim milk, low-fat yogurt, low-fat cheese. And then they do have some source of carbs, which is whole wheat pastas, bread, brown rice, oats, and etc. So the benefits of Nutrisystem is it's not really exclusively for like overweight people. It's ideal for people who want to eat in moderation and keep their weight in check, or they don't want to have to really prepare meals. They get these already basically prepared, which is kind of different than those meal plans, actually, which aren't really diet-based plans, but you see a lot of commercials now for those box meal plans. Where
like HelloFresh and stuff like that.
Yeah. So, but, and their plans are basically, sorry, totally lost my train of thought. So, that's a really good thing too about some of these programs. You're not having to really plan your meals out. The meals are already done and prepped when you get them sent. So I don't know if I've really ever known anybody that's done this diet or anything. So I can't really say, like I said, know anybody, or I myself have done this program. But basically, the stats are out there and a lot of people do succeed on it. So, but again, check with your doctors before you start any program.
Yes, definitely. All right. So I'm going to get into Weight Watchers, which is definitely something that you see constantly on TV. I know I always see commercials for Weight Watchers. So just a little bit of information behind Weight Watchers. It was found by Jean Nidek in 1963 in her home in Queens, New York. So from its humble beginnings as a weekly weight loss group for her friends, Weight Watchers quickly grew into one of the most sought-after diet plans in the world. So just a little bit of background, not like background info, but a little bit of information on what Weight Watchers is, which I can tell you a lot about this one because I have tried this diet quite a few times. So basically with Weight Watchers, it's based upon a point system. So you get your point system, or like your number of points, based upon like how much weight you would like to lose in like a certain amount of time. That's how they determine how many points you get per day. You also have something which is called bonus points. So basically, they're just added points that you get per week. So you get your points per day, but then you also get a little group of points that you can use throughout the week is how it goes.
Can you save the bonus points up in the beginning and use them all at one time?
No, so your bonus points...
Dang, I would be saving those points.
Your bonus points, they basically reset weekly is how it goes.
Oh, okay.
But what I like about Weight Watchers is... This probably isn't a good thing, but this is what I like about it, is that you can eat what you want, but you have to take into account just how many points you're using. Like, yeah, you can go have a piece of chocolate cake, but just to let you know, it's going to cost you probably a good 14 points.
Right.
And if you have only like 30 points for the day, that's half your points on just a piece of cake. So I guess I like it in a way because it definitely makes you very mindful about what you're eating.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
Because I know that that's how I felt whenever I ate it, whenever I was using Weight Watchers. But what I do like also is that there's a lot of foods that are considered 0-point foods, which that would be like black coffee, chicken, like lean chicken, vegetables. I think some fruits are even considered 0 points. So there's a lot that you can eat that will cost you 0 points. So that's what I do like. But I also don't think it's good because, you know, these 0-point foods, you might just like eat a whole bunch of that.
Right.
Because you're thinking, oh, it's only going to cost me 0 points.
That would be me too. I would be trying to rack the bonus points thinking I could cash in all at one time, and then I would be like eating all the 0-point stuff.
But yeah, so I guess that's not really like a good thing because it's not really helping you be mindful of portion control, which is definitely a big thing regardless of what you're eating.
Right.
Portion control is big in a diet.
Oh, yeah.
So I think with the 0-point foods, it's not going to be like super beneficial for you if you just want to like eat all that.
Yeah.
But yeah. So what I had read about like the pros and cons. So some pros. It offers a unique, individualized Smart Points budget and 0-point list for each person. So what I do like is, you know, with the bonus points, once you use up those bonus points, there's no more for the week.
Right.
So it makes you like definitely mindful once again about what you're putting into your body.
Yeah.
So it also provides helpful Weight Watcher app features like meal planning tools, recipes, workouts, and meditations. And I don't know, hey, look, on TV, there's a Weight Watchers ad.
Oh, how funny!
That's funny. They must have been listening.
Yeah.
But anyway.
That's hilarious.
Anyway, I know, that's some weird stuff.
Right, yeah. Somebody's listening in.
I don't know how they do it nowadays because I haven't done Weight Watchers for quite a long time. But I know back then they had like different clubs that you could join where it was like people who did Weight Watchers.
Yeah, you went to.
So it's like you went like to a Weight Watchers meeting.
Yeah,
and like
actually, a boss that I worked for, she did a lot. She did a couple different types.
And like you would weigh in, and I feel like I felt like that was a good thing because you were around people who were also doing Weight Watchers, so you could hold yourself accountable.
Right.
And it kind of made it good.
Yeah.
So, you know, I do like that it's very unique with like the Smart Points and stuff like that. Like it's tailored to what like each person needs. So, some of the cons, it can be expensive, especially if you sign up for the unlimited workshops and digital option. If I remember right, whenever I did it, it was like $15 a month, I think. And that was like to have the app and like to be able to track it and to have access to like the recipes and stuff like that.
Right.
But they have like different tiers if I remember right. So like I had basically like the extreme like bottom tier because I'm not about to spend a ton of money on anything. So
right.
So I had like the extremely basic one. So it can also be difficult and expensive to cancel. Been there, done that.
So that's with anything. Jeez Louise. Yeah.
No research on the personal points system specifically. So they haven't done any tailored research as to if this actually does work. But I don't know, like it's worked for me, but once again, once I stop tracking my points and all that, I start to gain all the weight back.
Right, yeah.
So that's that. Yeah, but you know, there are some good things too, like it helps with your sleep habits and your mindset and all of that, and it kind of helps you determine why you want to lose weight. So that's definitely some things that I like about Weight Watchers. They also have like specific Weight Watchers foods that like you can order. Like they have snacks, they have meals and stuff like that. Which I've never really dove into like that type of stuff, but I've heard pretty good things about it. All right, so
speaking of talking about, I was sitting here thinking diet. But actually, the one thing I did do when I was like in my mid-20s, it was funny because it was like the first boyfriend I had, and then you get comfortable in a relationship.
Oh, I know that story.
On some poundage. So anyway, but I wanted to
I know that.
do something to lose some weight, and that was when Slim Fasting came out. And it's funny because that commercial,
does that work?
That commercial they show now where they're showing the old stuff from before and the new stuff now. I laugh because it actually does work. Like when I started this job, I didn't have a car, so I had to pretty much eat my lunch there at the office. So it was easy enough to take and it was the powdered stuff, and you just mixed it with the milk. I had a little like little blender thing or whatever, and that's what I would drink, and I did those, and I lost, I think, like close to 18 pounds doing it, and I did it for, I think, like 3 months or 4 months, something like that, and it was mainly like I only would supplement because I was still living at home, so I was eating good in the evening, so I only like supplemented and did like basically the breakfast and then the lunch shake, and then just had the one meal that my mom cooked at night, which always wasn't like really good healthy food. I mean, she was one for cooking. She would always have 2 starches. Like we would have rice and potatoes sometimes. Like,
dang, that sounds good though.
She would load us up. So yeah. So all right. Well, I did a little bit of research on like the Atkins, and I will say their website was like pretty cool. Like it's a really nice website. They have a lot of information on there and a lot of different recipes and stuff. And theirs obviously is food that you can buy, in the store,
Some of those Atkins shakes are actually pretty good. I've had them.
And they're little like bars and stuff like that. So that's one thing about this program is it's kind of accessible. You can pick a lot of this stuff up at your supermarket. So but they kind of actually have a couple different type of programs too. They have like a 20-gram net carb per day type program, and it's made for the type of people that have 40 pounds or more to lose, have a waist size of 35 plus for women or 40 plus for men, or pre-diabetic or diabetic. And it eventually like adds carbs back slowly into the diet. And they have like a ladder that gives you the types of foods that you can eat. So then it goes up to like a 40-gram carb per day type program. And it's made for people that have less than 40 pounds to lose. And it has a wide variety of food choices in that program. And the acceptable food list remains the same, basically up till you reach your goal. Pretty much the same as what it would be in the 20 gram of the net carb per day. Then there's a 100-gram carb per day program, which it's ideal for people who are living a low carb lifestyle and want to maintain their weight and need the wide variety of food choices as well. People who are pregnant can do this program apparently. It's the widest variety of acceptable foods with minimal restrictions. And so, but it says losing weight with Atkins has never been easier. The first step in choosing the right plan for your needs. and they create a guide on there so you can go on there and choose basically what you want to do, what your goals want to be, and it helps you decide which program you fit in. So, like with the 20-gram program, it's kind of like a phase. It's an introduction into the 20-gram program per day, and it's typically best for, again, those want to lose over the 40 pounds. So again, they have like really good information on their website to check out. And again, I will agree, some of their foods I've had before and definitely worth checking out. But there was something that I did come across too that was posted. Forbes Health has on their website these diet programs, and it basically breaks down in some of these categories, but it's like best for overall health, best non-meat diet, best for heart health, best commercial diet, which that's Weight Watchers, of course, and the best commercial diet runner-up was Noom, which that gets a lot of publicity too, and a lot of people seem to have a lot of progress with that. But that's also a plan that really hasn't been out there for a long time.
No, so there's probably not a whole lot of research behind it.
I wouldn't imagine.
Yeah.
But there's a best non-meat diet runner-up. That's basically like a vegan diet. Best diet for flexibility, best diet for holistic health, best diet for brain boost, best diet for nutrient boost. So they have like a bunch of different type of programs on there for that you can look up. And they have a lot of information on their website as well. So, but basically, like another thing too that you kind of need to ask yourself in the sense of diets and things like that is, does the diet have foods that I like to eat? Because obviously you would not want to start on a diet program and you not really like the foods that you're going to be having to eat, you know? And then also, what is it about your habits and preferences that might make either one easier to approach? Because, you know, that's another thing. Like if you are limited, like if you work somewhere and you really can't leave your job, more or less, you can't be running out all the time, you always got to bring in your lunch or something like that, then you want to make sure you're thinking about that and when you're trying to decide, you know, which diet, you know. And then what am I going to change to help, you know, help yourself lose the weight or whatever it needs to be, you know, lower your cholesterol or you know, lower blood sugar or whatever you're having to be faced with. And then also, like, if you're having to eat certain types of foods, like you said, mentioned one earlier about expensive, is can I afford it? Yeah. Obviously, you don't want to get yourself locked into some kind of diet program where these meals cost you a lot of money.
Right.
And you're having to, like, get a second job to pay for your pre-meal meal prep plans that are coming in the door, you know?
Yeah,
and then if you're doing a diet that also has meals that you have to cook and prep, you know, do you really have time to really cook and prep those meals? You know, I mean, some stuff you might do earlier, go ahead and prep it and freeze it, but I really have the time to be getting out there and prepping the meals? And that's why I think some people that are always on the go, those pre-packaged programs where the meals come are definitely probably might be a better pick for you to do, you know. Right. You get your meals at the front door, it saves you time and effort, you don't have to worry about preparing the meals, you know, it's all right there, you know. So again, that's other things that you might want to look at when you're trying to start your diet search.
Yes, so, definitely.
All right, Tay girl, you want to take us home?
So I just kind of went ahead and looked up some statistics about like exercise and physical activity. So the percentage of adults aged 18 and over who met the physical activity guidelines for aerobic physical activity is 46.9, which I think is pretty good.
Yeah, because that's close to almost half.
Yeah, so that means like a lot of people are definitely where they need to be, like physical activity wise.
Right.
So the percentage of adults aged 18 and over who met the physical activity guidelines for both aerobic and muscle strengthening activity was a little bit less. It was 24.2.
Yeah, well, that is a big drop.
But that's
a lot more factored in there too.
Yeah, and I feel like, I don't know, in my personal opinion, I feel like aerobics would be a little bit easier to master than like muscle strengthening.
Right, yeah.
But that's just my opinion.
Well, and it's, you know.
And I'm just a girl from Pennsylvania.
I'm kind of like, it's easier to have somebody that's going to lay out and do something for me and instruct me than me having to try to figure out, you know. That's like, I teach Pilates, I'm a Pilates instructor and I teach Pilates. And so, you know, things like that you can kind of get and be shown and then get used to the exercises and kind of do the same thing. It's more repetitive, so you know, whereas it's like switched up a lot. Like, don't give me that.
Yeah, I've actually been following this girl on YouTube. Her name is Grow with Joe is what her YouTube name is, but she does a lot of like different types of workouts. Like she does like low impact cardio, ab strengthening, and like all sorts of different ones. So she has like different ones tailored to like what you need. So I've been doing like a different workout each day to kind of like make it interesting. Yeah.
Well, and that's another thing too that people say is what you should do is mix it up. You know, don't do the same thing over and over again. Like I know when I was disciplined more with myself and going to the gym with the cardio is I would switch it up. You know, I would do like 20 minutes on the elliptical, 20 minutes on the treadmill and everything. But then when I did really discover the water and the aquatic fitness and how beneficial that was, I'm certified in aquatic as well, and just truly believe that's just a great form of exercise.
You definitely need to make a pull group
together. I know, gotta get a pull group together. Some classes.
I'd be down for it.
Heck yeah. So that's kind of what we did some little researching on and found out about some diet plans out there and programs that maybe, you know, again, a new year, everybody starts the new year on the new diets and everything. And
new year, new me.
New year, so everybody getting on the diet wagon and everything. So, yeah, so hopefully we gave y'all some good information.
Yes, and once again, you know, always remember to consult your doctor before trying anything.
Right, yep.
You know, because we don't want nobody to get hurt.
No.
So I think that's kind of going to wrap up our episode for tonight, right?
Right, yeah.
Although I think, didn't you have a story you wanted to share?
Oh my God. Oh my goodness.
So we had
best for last.
Yes, we had an interesting
Very interesting. Sorry, yeah. So, all right. And y'all, you know, we again, our podcast started off about dating relationships. So this would have made like
we like to incorporate.
We got to throw back a little. Yeah. You know, this would have very relatable to.
Yes, ma'am.
So we go out, and long story short, this guy, I see this guy out, and this guy, Tay and I actually met out one night before, a while back, yeah. And it was like, he was kind of nice at first, we thought, and everything, but then it was like, you know, he's kind of like hitting on us, kind of a little both and this, and, you know, and it was kind of like, I don't know, you know, and then, but he actually did get my number. And so then he was like messaging me and everything, and I didn't really respond. And of course, when I didn't respond right away, then he got a little kind of testy in his messages back, like, "Oh, you girls are crazy anyway," or something like that.
Yeah.
So then I was like, "Well, dude, I'm definitely not going to message you back now." So anyway, see him out. So we see him out, and I noticed him kind of coming into the bar we were at. So, but then all of a sudden I realized he was actually sitting on the other side of me, right?
Yeah.
Like sitting on the other side of me.
Yeah.
So I spoke to him and everything, and he was like, "Oh, what happened? I never heard from you and everything." And I was like, "Yeah, kind of sorry about everything." And he was like, "Well, really, you know, I was hoping you understand, really." So he starts kind of being nice and all again and all that, you know. Right. And he wasn't a bad-looking guy.
No, he's not a bad-looking guy.
So I did.
His personality is crap.
Right, yeah. Well, so I gave him my number again. Right? So we were getting ready to leave and all, and I was still sitting in my chair, though. Sitting down in my chair. And he was beside me, mind you. And then all of a sudden, he kind of puts his hand on my leg, which is okay, kind of okay, right? Maybe okay. But then all of a sudden,
I guess depending on your comfort level.
He seriously grabbed my crotch, sitting right there at the bar.
And I missed all of this.
I was kind of like, like, I just almost really was, I guess, in a little shock slightly that it happened. I was kind of like, really? This just happened? Like, he's seriously just doing a crazy grab my crotch? Like, and I had on jeans. I did have on jeans, mind you. And so I was kind of a little shocked. And I was just trying to play it off then. I was like, oh, being like, oh, haha, you know how you kind of try to play stuff off?
Yeah.
And looking away and then looking at Tay like, okay, trying to get up out the chair and everything. And so then he was like, well, yeah, I'll call you. He was even like, what are you doing tomorrow? And then I was like, oh, great. And then, so then this was a kicker. And I really feel like I can't say this word on this podcast. And I won't, but you'll get the gist of it.
Yeah.
He seriously throws out there and says, yeah, I want to eat your blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Dot, dot, dot. I want to eat your dot, dot, dot. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's a word that starts with a P. So you can figure that out. And I was like mortified. Like, I could not even believe.
I can't believe I missed all this.
That was just straight out this boy's mouth. Yeah. Like, you seriously said this. So then I'm really like trying to get Tay, let's just go. So, but what was funny is, so this couple that was on
I love them. They were so funny.
They were sweet. They were fun. They were married. And this band that we were seeing was playing a lot of 80s music and stuff. And they were great. They were so good.
City Lights.
City Lights. We'll give a shout out to City Lights. And so they were like, we were all dancing and singing and everything and having a time. So they were being all sweet, giving us like hugs by and stuff like that. Like us.
I know that husband gave me quite a few hugs.
So then I told him what the guy said to me. I go, oh my God, that guy seriously. Well, I told him, and then I told his wife, I said, he's got a good story to tell you. And I told him, I go, I just cannot believe it. And I was like, then I gave him my number, and I was like, I have to tell you that. Now I'm hoping he just doesn't text, Twitter, call, whatever. So what I forgot to tell Tay, now that I'm telling you in person, is I do find it ironic. I never did hear from him. So I'm almost wondering if the guy like went up to him and said, dude, you better not even text her.
Yeah.
She was flat up kind of really upset about what he did.
I feel like that guy would have done that.
Right,
Because he I remember I went over, this was the husband and wife I'm referring to.
Right, yeah.
I went over to them and I was just joking around, and I was like, I said, I'm going to leave my friend alone. Looks like she's about to, she's planning to get some or something like that. And,
boy, was I ever getting some? I was getting copped a feel there at the bar.
The husband was like, well, do you need me to go step in? Like, I'm good at being like a wingman.
See, there you go.
And like, he had your back, man.
Nice.
It was, he didn't just support his wife, he supported
love those kind of people.
Yeah.
See, good. Oh my God, it was crazy.
It was funny, yeah.
So
I guess not for you, but it was
got the hell out of there. I woke up the next morning and I said, did that seriously happen last time that dude? And everything. So not cool, and definitely everybody don't see his ass out again, because
you probably will.
I will be like, dude, don't even, like, just don't even, like, it's crazy. It simply is crazy. And, like, I just cannot believe dudes would be like that, like, I mean, and truly I was sitting there thinking, that's literally almost assault. Like, I could say he assaulted me, he groped me, whatever. I mean, I don't know what falls into assault. But, I mean, that's just, like, seriously crossing the line. I don't know, even if I was on the third or fourth date with somebody, I'd be letting them eat my you-know-what. Dude's going to sit there and I met twice and he's going to like, are you kidding me?
Unfortunately, I just feel like a lot of guys nowadays, they just don't want to take no for an answer.
Exactly.
And,
it's crazy.
And I feel like,
it puts us girls and ladies and all that in a bad place.
Well, and here's the thing, like, I'm a strong, independent woman, so if you're bothering me, I'm going to tell you. And, and most men think I am, a little cuckoo for that, but, it's just
stand your ground. You got to stand your ground.
I'm just going to stand my ground. I'm not submissive. Like, that's just how it is,
Yeah. So, anyway, but we had to tell you that story because that was, talk about some craziness.
Yeah, I had a 70-year-old guy trying to pick me up, so that was kind of interesting. And then there was this guy, so I'm literally sitting at the bar talking to this couple that we had just met, and this guy comes over, and kind of like a puppy dog, where puppy dogs, they don't know, they hover and they don't quite understand, like, spatial recognition and stuff like that. Well, this guy was pretty much like being a puppy, and he wasn't bad looking. Like, he had some scruff and like blue eyes and blonde hair. Like, he was not a bad looking dude. Like, but he was about 10 sheets to the wind.
Oh, no.
So he's bringing up like a paper towel roll and like a thing of sugar, like the sugar packets, and like something else up to the bar. And he's drunk as all can be. And he's making all these like inappropriate jokes, and I'm just like joking along with him because I'm just like, this is kind of funny, you know.
Right.
But he dropped the sugar container, and like all the sugar fell out.
Oh, nice.
And he was like, wow, I'm just making it spill everywhere. I'm like, you know, it sounds like you might be good at that. And, you know, we were just like, you know, shooting shit and like joking around. But it was funny. We definitely had an interesting night out.
I know, right? Yeah. Fun.
So, you know, we do like to throw in some of these types of stories.
We'll always give you our good Saturday scoops, you know, from the Saturday before, because, yeah, that's our night of hitting the town. So
yes. It's a good
all right, so we're excited kind of on our next episode. We think it's going to be fun. Fun.
Yes, I definitely think it's going to be fun. So what we're going to cover is Where Are They Now?
Where Are They Now?
Children's stars from the 80s and 90s. So, you know, you always have that thought in your head. Like, you're sitting there watching a movie, or you're watching an old TV show, and you're thinking, what the heck happened? So we're going to give you the scoop.
I was thinking about one the other day, and now I can't remember. But yes, so, and I'm gonna cover 80s, because that was my end.
And I'm going to cover 90s. Yeah, I've often wondered what happened to Haley Joel Osment. I've often wondered that, because he was, I think, so good whenever he was younger, and I don't know what happened. So I'm interested to look him up and see what the heck the dish is on him.
Oh, yeah. So it should be fun. So tune in for our next episode. And again, we take your comments and suggestions. You can email us at our email account at twochickstelaw@gmail.com.
And Chics is with a C and not a K. So it's CHICS.
It's be different. We like it.
Yes.
So again, appreciate all the feedback and hope you're enjoying our podcast. We will see you next week.
Yes, it's Tay Tay signing off.
And Cece, see ya.
See you later.